have a daughter in public schools. I don't want some 40-year-old dude telling her that just because you have female parts doesn't mean you're female.
Former Congressman Mark Walker making waves with some interesting claims during last night's Republican primary debate for North Carolina's open Senate seat. Walker is one of 3 candidates in the race for the GOP's nomination, and polls have him trailing pretty far behind Pat McCrory and frontrunner Ted Budd. So why does Walker think that he deserves your vote? Chief political correspondent Emma Withrow sits down one-on-one with the former pastor on why he's still confident in his campaign.
Congressman Mark Walker was the first Republican candidate to announce his campaign for Senator Richard Burr's seat, but now he's trailing behind 2 powerhouse North Carolina politicians. Now, despite the polls putting Walker in 3rd place, he's confident his conservative values and clear track record will set him apart from his competition.
Congressman Mark Walker represented North Carolinians for 6 years in Congress before deciding he wanted to run for Senate. Prior to those 6 years, Walker didn't spend his time anywhere near political office. He was a Baptist pastor.
After President Barack Obama won the election, 2nd term, I literally got up out of the living room, walked down the hallway to my wife was working in the bedroom, and I said, kind of held it back my shoulders. I said, babe, I'm running for the United States Congress.
But Walker's wife, who's a trauma nurse specialist, had some valid questions and concerns.
And she said, well, do you know anybody in Raleigh or even Washington, D.C.? I said, no, I probably should, but we took a step of faith, got through a primary runoff in a general election, and had a wonderful time serving the people of North Carolina.
His lack of contact with the D.C. elite and wealthy super PACs might not have been an issue when Walker ran for Congress.
I'm interrupting you. I just want to say, hey, don't get up, Mark Walker.
It's definitely proved to be one during his run for Senate.
So I'm going with Congressman Ted Budd, complete and total endorsement. Come on up, Ted.
The endorsement went to Budd. We believe and have good information that that was Mr. Meadows, who I had some friction with from time to time. So it's politics, sometimes the internal politics that we see. Mr. Meadows encouraged President Trump at the time to go with Mr. Budd, and that is why that endorsement was really unveiled the way that it was.
The Meadows Walker's referring to is former President Donald Trump's chief of staff, Mark Meadows. Meadows is also a politician with strong North Carolina ties, and according to Walker, has a lot of sway with Trump.
We know this is kind of a David versus Goliath. We're out campaigning on the few dollars here and there from people from North Carolina.
But the strain on Walker and Trump's relationship didn't just start or end with Meadows. In 2016, Walker condemned Trump's comments about sexual assault captured on tape by Access Hollywood. He called them vile and said America deserves better. Now Walker's trailing behind Congressman Ted Budd.
But you can count on me.
And former North Carolina Governor Pat McCrory.
Right now, Washington has no common sense.
Both with millions of dollars and significant name recognition.
That's after $5 million of D.C. dark money that's been spent on Mr. Budd's campaign in the last month, which did give him a bump. We don't have a D.C. super PAC or dark money supporting us, so we are really holding our money, our spending, our ad buys into the last 3 or 4 weeks. And once we do that, we believe the race will very much tighten up.
A poll done by Queen City News, Emerson College, and The Hill found that 38% of likely voters favored Budd, 22% favored McCrory, and 9% favored Walker. But Walker says his campaign's internal polling is showing much different numbers.
In fact, we have done 2 in the last month. We do see now that Mr. Budd, over the last month, has taken a lead over McCrory. We're trailing McCrory. We have ourselves in the middle teens, with Mr. Budd in the low 30s and Mr. McCrory in the low 20s.
Walker says he was offered a deal from former President Donald Trump. If he went back to Congress and endorsed Budd, Trump would endorse him in his next race.
I have nothing of ill will to say about President Trump. I just answer to a higher power when it comes to what I believe I should be doing with my life, as well as the record when it comes to serving the people of North Carolina.
Now, despite Walker being in 3rd place, there's still 23% of Republicans who say they're undecided. So things could still shift in this race, but we'll find out for sure on May 17th. Emma Withrow, Queen City News.
All right, Emma, thank you for that. Queen City News is your local election headquarters all this week. Our chief political correspondent, Emma Withrow, who you just saw there, goes one-on-one with the front runners in the race for the open Senate seat here in North Carolina. You can watch her original reports with each of the candidates on Queen City News at 10. And be sure to join us all day on Tuesday, May the 17th, as we track the complete results in the North Carolina primary.
Well, Ted Budd declined to attend the debate that we hosted last night, but his top competitor spent much of the time attacking him and his record. At one point, former governor and Charlotte Mayor Pat McCrory said Budd was avoiding the debates because of his record voting against Trump's border wall. But now Budd has clearly made border security a key issue in the race. In 2018, Republicans in the House tried to get two versions of an immigration bill passed, but couldn't agree with each other on various provisions. The first bill was more conservative, while the second was viewed as a compromise. Both failed to pass. Budd was among 112 Republicans who voted against the compromise bill. He recently revealed why he backed the original version,
which got more votes and had more Republican votes and had more funding in it. And I'm supporting the one that the National Border Patrol Council supported, which had more border funding. So it's very deceptive.
Reminder, early voting in North Carolina starts tomorrow. It runs until 3 o'clock Saturday, May 14th. North Carolina's primary election once again on Tuesday, May 17th.